Your eyes don't shine, don't shine. Don't shine. They were mine. No. Your words, don't shine. They were mine. No. Don't shine. Don't shine. Don't shine.
You guys making fun of my beats? You making fun of my beats? What's going on out there, people? Got 18 in the stream right now. Missing a few. Now we're at 20. What is going on? What is going on out there? Lovely Tuesday we have. Lovely little Tuesday out there. Welcome on in. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. This is the talkative crew. I forgot. This is the talkative crew. My 4th hour. Didn't talk for 15 minutes. That's fine. Hey, I got a lot of work done. It was real good. So, what's going on there, people? How we doing out there? How we doing out there? Once we're almost... Well, how many people are in here? 26. Hey, a couple announcements. Only 24 out of 20... Not only, and most of you guys have it done, but 24 out of 26 have completed their flip grid. All right? I need 2 more to get it done. Who are you out there? 2 more to get it done. No, I did not find the picture. Support the content. Get involved. Yes. Thank you. Miranda, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing okay. I appreciate it. How are you doing, Miranda? How are you doing? How are we doing out there? So yeah, we need to get our flip grids done. I know that. But yeah, today's a big day for you guys. I said today is a big day in your econ career. Some of you guys, you don't know it yet, but some of you guys might stick with this, right? And end up majoring in economics. You never know, right? You never ever know, right? So, and some of you guys might take microeconomics next year, right? There's a lot of econ to be learned out there, which is going to be really cool. All right, it's always a good day with Mr. I appreciate it. Man, you guys rock. You guys rock. I'll tell you what. Your attendance in the chat today is this. Your attendance in the chat is this. Let me turn on the music just ever so slightly a little bit. What is economics to you? In other words, what do you think you're going to learn about in this class? Right? Like what is economics? What is economics? What are you going to learn about? When you originally saw economics on your schedule, what did you anticipate learning about? What is economics? And do not give me a Google definition, I swear. What is economics? Like just at first glance, right? Don't look anything up. There's not a right or wrong answer, right? What did you think you're going to learn about in this class? You better not give me a one-word answer either. It better be something good. What do you think you're going to learn about? People, there's not much delay today, which is weird. I'm using a new like live dashboard, and it seems like the delay is very, very minimal. It's like 7 seconds maybe. Very good. Answers are rolling on in. I like that. Oh, Miranda. Miranda's a guru. Who is this person? All right, let me read some of these real quick. All right, we got Okay, we got everything I learned last year plus more. Sorta, Matthew, not really. Not really. I mean, at least the beginning will be mostly that. Oh, some of the green screen. There we go. Fixed it. About like a week and a half will be a lot similar to what you learned about last year, Matthew. But it'll be much more complex this time around, and then everything is new after that. Everything is new after that. How money is used and stocks. S-T-O-C-K-S. Stocks. Yes, look at that. The stock market. Money in the stock market. Stock market. The stock market. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's not your guys' fault, but it's crazy that Americans think the stock... That's right. It's crazy to think that Americans think the stock market is macroeconomics, right? Like the stock market is an indicator for economic value, right? Economic success, right? Economics and stock market go hand in hand. It's pretty crazy, and I am sorry to inform you that we won't learn pretty much nothing about the stock market. Now we'll play a stock market game just to have fun and do it along the side, but we won't be doing anything really with the stock market. Because that's not what economics is. But that's what I thought economics was, right? You're not wrong. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was money and economics. That's what I'm going to learn about. Personal finance. I thought that was what I was going to learn about. It is far from that. It's much more better than that, right? Okay. The stock market and trade, learning about the economy and different stuff, and info about money, how money is used, right? A lot of money. There isn't much to the stock market, guys. Quinn, nice. How people interact with money and how it changes with the state of the society, how the economy flows and fluctuates. Ooh. Production, supply and demand, money, and the stock market. I like the supply and demand part, and I like the production part, Elizabeth. Hey, I had an Allard. Hey, is your older sister Katie? She was pretty smart. She was pretty smart. I hope it is. It sounds like Katie's there right now. Look at macro decisions based upon governments. Ooh. Bet. Maddie says bet. Learning about the flow of money in the markets. That's pretty good. Markets is what I like to see. Not stock market, but market. Managing money. It's not a lot about money, but that you guys are not wrong. That's what I thought economics was when I initially took economics. I thought I was going to get really, really smart at like budgeting and money and personal finance and stocks and bonds and things like that. It's not the case, people. I'm sorry. All right. Enough with the music. All right. So, I had my announcements. We did attendance in the chat. If you got in late, I asked the attendance today is what do you think economics is and what do you think you're going to learn about? But yeah, we got a good show today, people. We got a good show, a good production today. Welcome on in to the live stream, people. Glad you're here. Tune in. It's going to be great. Uh-oh. Oh no, people. Oh no, I didn't change my cameras over. No, you guys are looking at a Google screen. It's fine. We're gonna do the warm up a little differently then. We'll do the warm up a little differently then. All right. Without further ado, let's get into it, people. Let's get into it. Hold on. So many monitors. Yeah, I had something cool planned, but we'll do it tomorrow. It's fine. Look at Griffin supply and demand. You did learn about some supply and demand last year, and I'm glad you remember that. All right, people. There's a schedule again, kind of more laid out for you a little bit, kind of what you would see on the playlist. Make sure you guys look at the playlist. And please, last time I'm going to remind you, please make sure your Flipgrid is in. It's due tonight. And just in general, know and understand that when I give you an assignment, it's not due that night or the next class. It's due like the following midnight, right? You have 2 Google Meets to get an assignment done, right? So Flipgrid is due tomorrow, and then Problem Set 1.1, the one I'm going to give you today, is due tomorrow at midnight. So many monitors, so little time. People, I have a command center here. A command center. This is a true battle station. It's pretty sweet. All right, anyway. Oh, and also make sure you join AP Classroom. That's what I was thinking about. Join AP Classroom. Do not forget to join AP Classroom, all right? When we start doing stuff in the AP Classroom, you're like, Mr. Moore, where's the join code? I'm going to be pretty upset, okay? All right, moving on here. All right, people. So what is economics, Mr. Moore? What is it? What is it, right? Economics is this. It is the study of scarcity, and it is more so a science. It is a science because it's ever-changing. And we hypothesize, we test, we develop laws, and we use those laws to conclude how the world works around us. It is absolutely a science. And people, I don't know if you know this, it's also a math credit. It's also a math credit. I had to work very, very hard to get this class to become a math credit. So is microeconomics. Microeconomics is also a math credit. So if you wish to not take a senior year of math, not saying you should, but I mean, it's not a bad idea. You can take macro and microeconomics for your full year of math, and you'll have 4 years of math, and then you can just take like psych and soc or something like that for senior year. I got you guys, but I had to fight hard to get this a math credit because we will use some math, especially at the end of this 3-week window. We're gonna use some math, but it's a math, it's a science, it's everything you ever need. It's the best thing to ever learn about is economics. So economics is the study of scarcity. So what is scarcity? Scarcity is this idea that people, governments, and businesses, I'm always going to say all three, people, businesses, and governments, generally have unlimited wants, yet limited resources, right? We generally want a lot of things or want to do 2 things at once, etc., and we can't. Time is generally scarce. Our resources, our money generally are scarce. If we're producing, our resources like our land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship are generally scarce. We have to tackle this issue of scarcity, time and time over, okay? So a better definition, I'm going to give you a better definition. I'm going to keep giving you better and better definitions, all right? So just wait. Best thing I ever learned about was astrophysics. What are you talking about, Quinn? Astrophysics? Who teaches that class? I want to teach that class. Hey, this is better though. All right. What is economics? Economics is the science of scarcity, right? So there's your definition of scarcity. It's what I just told you. It's we have unlimited wants and limited resources. But wait, Mr. Moore, like, air isn't scarce, right? Everything is scarce. Everything is scarce, right? You can't have everything. If you want clean air, then you have to give up, fossil fuels, right? If you want clean water, you got to give up, I don't know, tons of stuff. Everything is scarce. If you really, really, really think about it. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. That's extra credit. Extra credit. You'll see it in Jupiter here in a second. Everything is scarce, right? We're always dealing with this issue of scarcity. I mean, think about it like right now. You had tons and tons of choices you could have made today. You can, either be watching the live stream right now and learning and furthering your education, so you can open up many, many doors in your lifetime, or you could be sleeping, or you could be playing video games, or you could be outside playing with your dog, or whatever, right? You could be doing tons of things. There's scarcity today, right? You couldn't do everything that you want to do. Time is scarce. You had to make a decision to do one thing. You can't go to your friend's house and also watch the stream. Well, maybe actually some of you guys I know hang out during this, but we're always combating this issue of scarcity. Wait, Mr. Moore, you never said anything taking notes. Yes, definitely take notes. Definitely be taking notes. Actually, you don't have to take notes, right? You don't have to take notes. Some of you guys are good at taking notes. Some of you guys, when you take notes, you turn off listening to me and like you just write things. I don't want you to be that kind of note taker. I don't want you copying what's on my slides. Remember, I'm going to give you a copy of these slides. And this is recorded. This is recorded online, right? So you can go back and watch this. Okay? But anyway. But, take like notes like you're supposed to, right? Don't write word for word, like, put it in your own terms and write what I'm talking about rather than what's on the paper. Okay, anyway. So since we are unable to have everything we desire, typically, we must make choices on how we will use our resources. Again, our time, mostly money, right? We can't have everything we want. If you go to lunch today and you go to McDonald's, in choosing to go to McDonald's, you gave up going to Taco Bell. You gave up going to Burger King. You gave up getting a healthy lunch. We can't have it all. You had $10. You can only get so many things at McDonald's. If money wasn't scarce, you still would only be able to get so much things at McDonald's. They'd only be able to probably give you a certain amount of food, or your time would be scarce. Your stomach, you can only put so much food in your stomach, right? Everything is scarce. So since everything is scarce, it forces people, governments, and businesses to make choices, right? So that's the better definition. So cross out the other definition and put this one instead. Economics is a study of choices. Don't cross it out, but just, economics is a study of choices because scarcity forces trade-offs. Scarcity forces us to make a choice, and when we make a choice, we give up other things. Scarcity forces trade-offs. Economics is a study of choices, right? So think about that. Think about that, right? It's not stocks, not bonds, it's not mutual funds, it's not personal finance, not budgeting, it's not taxes, right? Everything that people say on Facebook that should be taught in school, right? People, I got news for you. You don't need to know how to do your taxes. You just got to get TurboTax and click buttons and do what it says, right? It's pretty easy. Economics is a study of choices, right? So that makes it much more intriguing, hopefully, right? We're going to analyze in this class and rationalize and explain why people make choices, why governments make choices, and why businesses make choices. People, governments, and businesses, right? Why do they make choices? Explaining using these core economic values, okay? TurboTax is you just TurboTax and it says, hey, look at this paper that you have on this number and write down the number that you see in the box, right? I don't understand that thing. People should learn stocks. You know how many people own stocks? It's very, very minimal. I think it's like 30% of Americans own stocks, and 75% of stocks is owned by the 1%, right? It's so small. And people that own stocks usually have $200, and it's play around money, right? This live stream is sponsored by TurboTax. Hey, TurboTax, contact me. All right, anyway. Little coffee sip. Examples, right? You must choose between buying jeans and shoes, right? You have $100. Your $100 can either get you shoes or jeans, or you can give up getting good jeans and good shoes and get cheap shoes and cheap jeans, right? Business must choose whether to spend money on advertising, right? They have $100 allocated to spend on increasing revenue, and they can either spend it on advertising or they can spend it on resources. They can spend it on labor costs. They can spend it on education for their workers. They can spend it on capital goods like machines, tools, and equipment, right? Businesses have so much money, right? People have so much money. Businesses and people have so much time. Everything is scarce. Everything is scarce. Governments, the same, right? Governments have a budget, and generally we spend more than we take in for revenue, which is really insane. But governments must choose, right? Do we want to have healthcare for our people? Do we want to have the strongest military in the world for our people? Do we want to have good roads and stuff and good infrastructure for our people? Right? Do we want to have subsidized, college tuition, right? Right? So, government, we can't have it all, right? We certainly can't have it all. We can't spend at the level we do for our military and also have free healthcare and everything else, right? We would have to give up something to get the other thing, right? And we'll talk more about that in a second here. Guns versus butter is the debate. That's what it's called. So here's your textbook definition. People, I hope you have this textbook here. I hope you have this textbook. I hope you do. And I hope you read Module 1. Hey, 1 in the chat if you read Module 1. Put a 1 in the chat if you read Module 1 last night. And don't lie. Don't lie. There's no gain. I just want to know. I want to know. Whoever chose good roads because Michigan sure didn't. Yeah, people do that, right? Well, the government does what you put the people in power, right? So people are I don't want to pay taxes. And then they'll be my roads are horrible. Right? If you want better roads, you got to be willing to pay more taxes, sort of thing, right? That's the idea. Did you guys really read Module 1? You guys are quickly, potentially becoming my favorite hour. I did 6 hour a lot, and all of them did their flip grid. So whoever didn't do their flip grid, you know who you are, okay? So it is, your textbook definition says social science concerned with the efficient use of scarce resources to achieve maximum satisfaction and economic wants. That's the idea of scarcity, right? We have so many resources, and we want to allocate and use these resources in the most efficient way possible to maximize our utility, our satisfaction. So, study of how individual societies deal with this issue of scarcity by making choices. Have to pay taxes if you want things the taxes give. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right? If you want your property value to go up, you have to support taxes that, like bonds for the school, right? Because schools definitely correlate with property values, right? It's kind of the same idea. You guys should see the road I live on. Here in Fenton, people don't like taxes in Fenton, right? And they vote everything down. And I have so many potholes on my road. When I go running on it, it's insane. When I walk my dog, he takes breaks and stops and tries to drink the water out of the potholes, like the greasy, oily water. It's disgusting. My roads are never lit, ever, right? There's like no lights anywhere, and there's one light that is kind of close to my house, and it flickers all the time. It'll shut off for like 10 minutes, also like turn on a little bit, flicker a little bit. It's insane. It's like a third world country. It's insane. There's no sidewalks downtown in some areas, so like when you go running, you got to like run on someone's lawn and then go in the road and then like find a sidewalk again. Anyway, I can go on for days. We don't like taxes here, right? It's crazy. Okay, anyway. All right, so how is economics used? There's just really two different ways you can use economics. You can use economics to develop theories, or you could use those theories to implement policy, right? So that's pretty self-explanatory. Theoretical economics and policy economics. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, positive versus normative, right? So this right here is something you know. You don't really need to know up here. You got to know that like economics is like you either go into economics to create theories that often hopefully that will be used one day, or you go into economics that you use theories that you learned, right, to develop policy is the idea, to fix problems and meet economic goals. This you have to know, and this is on your problem set. The difference between positive and normative economics, or the difference between a positive and a normative statement, right? Like what is positive economics, what is normative economics? Positive economics, or a positive statement, is one that's based on facts, right? You can fact check it. Doesn't mean if it's like factual, like truthful, right? But it's the idea that if this is a positive statement or positive economics, we can go back and see, is it real or is it not real, right? Is it true or is it false? So let me give you an example of a positive statement. A positive statement would be, class started at, what time is it right now? Class started at 11:01, right? 11:01. Did it start at 11? Did it start at 11:01? Did it start at 10:59? I don't really know. I'm pretty sure it started at like 11:01. It doesn't matter, right? But that statement that I gave you, class started at 11, we can fact check it. We can go look and back and see when the live stream started and identify, did it start at 11 o'clock, 11:01, or 10:59, right? It doesn't matter if it's true or false. It's the idea that we can fact check it and identify, is it true or is it false? A normative statement would be like this. Class should start at 11:05 to make time for people that are late. I don't know, right? Should it? Maybe. Should it not? I don't know. But like, is there a true or a false answer with that? No, right? It's opinion based. It's what ought to be, what should be. It's a value judgment. Could, what should, like you're gonna see things like that. Ought to. So positive is one that's either true or false, right? It's one that we can check. And a normative statement is an opinion, right? So economists say we kind of need both. Right? We obviously need positive economics, right, to implement policy that we know works, right? But also normative economics opens up a way to test and to be creative and to see if things could or could not work, sort of idea. Fourth hour last year was one of the worst hours of my teaching career, and Matthew, you were in it, so I don't know what to say about it. All right, anyway, moving on. So positive versus normative, all you got to do is be able to identify is it a positive or normative statement. That's all you really have to do with that. Okay. Next thing you need to be able to identify in the problems of today is the difference between micro and macroeconomics. Okay, obviously you're in macroeconomics, and you can take microeconomics, and I really hope you do. I really, really hope you take microeconomics. I love microeconomics a lot. It's probably actually, I think I like teaching about macro more, but I like micro because I know you guys, you're seniors, and I've developed a way to make it very, very easy with absolutely no homework, and students do very, very good in micro. Students do good in macro, but the macro test is much harder than micro. Know that this AP test in this class is going to be one of the hardest AP tests you take. If you're a big AP tester, right, like you're a kid that has like 6 AP classes on their schedule, This might be your hardest AP test. Just the nature of the test itself, the amount of students that pass. Now, my students pass at a higher rate, flex, right? But anyway, I'm going off on random tangents. All right, anyway, microeconomics is the study of small economic units. The study of small economic units. So we're going to analyze, why people make the choices that they do. Why businesses make the choices that they do, right? Why would a business choose to make 5 shirts instead of 4 shirts? Why would a business choose to advertise or not advertise? Why would a business choose to charge $6 instead of $5, right? Why would a person decide to buy 4 apples instead of 3 apples? Why would a person, I don't know, I think you guys get the point. But also, microeconomics is the study of markets, which some students get confused and they think markets is macro. Markets is not macro. Supply and demand for bananas is micro. The supply and demand for eggs is micro, right? A market is microeconomics. Macroeconomics is when we add every market together, right? Aggregates is the idea, studying the economy as a whole. So in microeconomics, and we're going to do micro for a little bit, for at least 2 weeks here, you're gonna learn how to graph the supply and demand for bananas and what would happen to cause supply or demand to change for bananas, right? The banana market. But macroeconomics is this. Every good and service added together. The supply and demand for those. So we use aggregate demand and aggregate supply. And it's not one good, it's every good that can possibly be produced in the economy. You're going to learn things like GDP, inflation, unemployment, international trade, things like that. Much larger scale, right? So yeah, macroeconomics, people. Macroeconomics is pretty cool. And it's a good time to learn about macroeconomics, right? We got November coming around the corner. Get the debate on tonight, which I don't know how intellectual it's actually going to be, but I'm sure a lot of macroeconomics will be talked about, right? So this is good. You're going to become knowledgeable, okay? All right, anyway, moving on here. We're going to do a lot of graphing, people, in this class. So here are some graphs, because we're going to do a lot of graphing. It says, when falling asleep feels the easiest. Who can identify with this one? Falling asleep feels the easiest in class and at work, and then you feel tired all day, and then you go to bed at night, and you can't turn it off. You can't fall asleep. And then you don't get much sleep, and then you feel tired in class and at work, right? It's pretty crazy. I don't know if I identify with this graph, sort of it, but not the work part. When I'm working, people, I am fully awake. And you know how to become fully awake? Love. No, I'm just kidding. Coffee. Coffee. Drink a lot of coffee. It's pretty good. Anyway. Yeah. All right. Anyway, cuteness versus number of legs. Did I skip? No, I didn't. Okay. So we got cuteness, right? Increases from bottom to top here, and then number of legs from left to right. Notice a lot of things are generally creepy. Unless you have 2 legs, that's normal. That's like us, right? 4 legs is really adorable if it's young, like a kitten or like a puppy, right? But generally anything else is unfortunate and or creepy. How much we enjoy childhood things? When you're a child, obviously you like childhood things. And then you get in middle school and high school, and things really aren't cool that you did in your childhood. And then when you get to college, childhood things become really, really cool again. And some of you guys are like, Mr. Moore, what are you talking about? You'll cross that bridge when you get there. You'll see. Anyway, usefulness of a shotgun in video games. Shotguns are pretty bad in most shooter games, in most video games, right? Shotgun is like a poor choice of weaponry. Unless you're combating zombies. Right? Probability of being right. This is my favorite. So the probability of being right as your relationship status increases from left to right here. That's why it took me 10 years to get married. It took me 10 years. Because every step along the way, I lost power. I lost the ability of being right. So all my parents listening in the background, who can identify with this one? Some of you guys might be able to. Moving on. All right, time spent on Netflix, searching, majority of my time. Actually watching something very, very small. I can't tell you the last time I saw something on Netflix. I watched something on Netflix, all right? It's been a long time. I go on Netflix a lot to find something, but I can never find anything. In Skyrim, shotguns are negative, as they don't exist. Yeah, shotguns are pretty poor. Anyway. Last graph to look at is the McDonald's curve. People, I'm always craving McDonald's, and I know some of you guys can identify with this one. Actually, I think somebody said McDonald's was their favorite food. Who was that yesterday? Your favorite place to eat? You're like McDonald's. McDonald's was. But people, I'm always craving McDonald's. Like a 10-piece McNuggets with sweet and sour sauce, chicken. But the thing is, after I eat McDonald's, it feels gross, right? And I'm like, I'm never doing that again. And then 2 hours later, I'm like, I love McDonald's. I'm going back again, right? So you can kind of get the point there. Oh yeah, Matthew used to bring me chicken nuggets. Oh man, I remember that. And that was like during a time in my life where I was always skipping lunch. Yeah, spicy nuggets. Are the spicy nuggets good? That's pretty sweet. All right, people. This is more realistic. This is the graphs that we're going to be working with in class. But generally, this is the methodology and how we navigate economics. All right. Generally, when you learn about a graph, we talk about the concept in words, right? Like the law of demand is the idea that when price goes down, people buy more things, right? And then we put a table with it. We explain the concept using numbers. And then we plot those numbers on a graph. And then we manipulate the graph to make generalizations on what would happen if this happens, right? Trying to explain the world around us. That's the idea of economics. So here, you're going to learn about all this. So if you don't know it now, obviously you're not supposed to know it, or else you should be testing out in my class right now. But you're going to learn why the money supply is vertical. It's fixed by the Fed. You're going to learn why money demand is downward sloping in relation to interest rates and the amount of money you're holding. It's opportunity cost. So if the Fed increases the money supply by either buying bonds, lowering the discount rate, or lowering the reserve requirement, it will drive interest rates down. And we know that if interest rates go down, it's going to incentivize businesses to invest. It's going to incentivize businesses to take out loans at lower interest rates and use those loans to go buy more capital goods, to buy more machines, tools, and equipment. So if they buy more machines, tools, and equipment, they're going to buy more American goods, thus pushing up price level, thus pushing up output. And when output goes up, the inverse relationship is that unemployment will go down. So that's the idea. We learn why does the graph look like this, what would cause these curves to move, and afterwards we can conclude that if the Fed increases the money supply during a recession, it could help reduce and combat unemployment. That's the idea. That's the idea of this class. So it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing and a curse because when you see decisions made, right, whether it's the Federal Reserve or the highest office in our land, right, and it's counterintuitive to what we are supposed to be doing fiscally and in a monetary lens, right, it kind of aggravates you a little bit potentially, right? But that's good. You're going to learn all this stuff. It's really cool. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so analyzing choices, right? So we said economics is the study of choices, right? It's a study of decision making. So let's dive into that a little bit, all right? Let's analyze some choices here. Oh, yeah, dang it. I can't go to the cool screen. Yeah, there's no way I can go to the cool screen. Okay, anyway, so we're going to do this little example real quick. And I don't want you guys to take too long, but I want you guys to be dialed in here, all right? It says, given the following assumptions, make a rational choice in your own self-interest. It says, hold everything else constant. Ceteris paribus. You're going to hear me say that a lot. Ceteris paribus means hold everything else equal, right? Like don't bring in all the complexities. We're going to keep everything so simplified in this class. You're going to be like, Mr. Moore, businesses make more than two goods, right? And all these different things, right? Just like don't think so much is basically what ceteris paribus means. So in this case, don't think so much. Think a little bit, but not too much. It says you want to visit your friend for the weekend and you'll return Sunday night, all right? You work all week, right? You party all weekend. I'm kidding. No, you work all week, and you have this opportunity to go see your friend. And your friend lives far away. Your friend lives in Florida, right? And you're both in college right now. So obviously you're friends for life, best friends forever. And like one of you went to college at MSU and the other one went to college at Miami. I don't know. And you have this weekend, and you want to go see your friend. Like you have to go see your friend. It's like their birthday party. It's their birthday bash, all right? That's your ceteris paribus, okay? You work every week, and you earn $100 per day. So you work like 10 hours a day on top of school, and you make $10 an hour. The great working wage that we have. and you got 3 flights to choose from. You got 3 flights. All right, so you go back to your dorm room, and you're like, I want to see my friend. I just got off the phone with him, right? And you go to Expedia, and what's the default? I don't know if it's the default thing, but what would most people do in Expedia? Most people, when they go online, they shop for something, right? They sort it by lowest price to highest price. Okay? Boom, boom, kabam, right? So there's your 3 flights from Detroit or Flint to Miami. All right? You get the Thursday night flight, that's $275. You got the Friday early morning flight, that's $300, and you got the Friday night flight, that's $325. Right? My question to you is, and Matthew and Griffin cannot participate in this. Okay? Or else I'm going to time you out. Which flight should you choose and why? All right, so kind of think about it. What flight would you choose and why? You're in your dorm room. You just sorted it by lowest to highest price. And here's your 3 options. And you know you work every day. And every day you make $100 per day. And you have to see your friend this weekend. You have to see your friend this weekend. All right. Hold on. Matthew's asking for it, so I gotta do it. Put user in time. Oh! Ah! Alright, hold on, we gotta go back. Alright, okay, look at it again. Dang, everything gets deleted? That was harsh. Matthew, I didn't mean that. And I don't know how long I timed you out for. Okay? I didn't mean to do that. I feel really regretful. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway. So what would you do? Put in the chat. What would you do? You're in your dorm room. You sorted price lowest to highest. And this is kind of like the situation going on. Put why. Explain why. Poor Matthew. Friday night flight. Nice. Alright, so a lot of you guys are saying Friday night flight. Anybody saying anything differently? I'm just glad you're not saying the Thursday night flight. Actually, you can say the Thursday night flight if you explain it correctly. Nice, Friday night. People, I gotta add sounds so I can do like funny sounds. I'm gonna add some hotkeys. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so you have a couple options, right? If you take the Thursday night flight, essentially, hold on, can you still see it if I go like this? If you take the Thursday night flight, in actuality, how much does that really cost you? How much does that really cost you? All right? There's something called explicit versus implicit cost. The explicit cost is this. The explicit cost is it costs you $275. Explicit is like, I don't know how else to explain it. It's like, it's there, right? It's there. You can see Matthew disliked my video. Matthew disliked my video. Hey, you guys better counter that. Anyway, $275, right? That's your explicit cost. The implicit cost, and we're going to talk about the idea of opportunity cost here in a second, is what you give up. Right? So in actuality, right, this really costs $375. Oops. $375. That's how much it really costs, okay? Because again, like if you take the Thursday night flight, you're gonna give up working $100 a day. Like you're giving up $100. This ticket really costs you $375. That's the way to think about it. Now, how many Americans would just, or any person in the world would do this flight because it's cheapest? I guarantee you, so many people would. And they'd be like, I'll just take off work tomorrow, all right? Right? No. Okay. Anyway, the next thing is the Friday early morning flight. This one's $300. And do you have the opportunity of working on Friday? No, because you're leaving in the morning. It's like the early flight out. So no, that one really costs you $400. Okay, what about this one? Okay, Friday night flight, right? So you actually work on Friday, which is good. So you don't give up the $100. So really, it costs you $325. Okay. You asked for this, Matthew. Okay. All right, so it goes like this. This is how I want you to think. And again, I told you guys this on day one yesterday, that the goal of this class is to make you a better decision maker. It's to make you a better decision maker. So yes, the Friday night flight is like the fiscally appropriate thing to do. It's the cheapest one to do, but this is like where I want you to be. Do you value an extra day with your friend more or less than $50? Right? I mean, like this one, like we're not doing this one, right? It's either this or this. Do you value an extra day, Friday, right, with your friend more or less than $50? Because if you value $50 more than an extra day with your friend, you're gonna take the Friday night flight. You're gonna work on Friday. You're gonna take the Friday night flight. If you value the experience and everything that comes along with it of a day, an extra day with your friend, more than the $50, then you'll take the Thursday night flight. That's the idea. The cost versus benefit analysis, right? And looking at the marginal cost and the marginal benefit. The marginal cost of taking the Thursday night flight is $50. The marginal benefit, however, is whatever number that goes with the experience of being with your friend for a whole additional extra day. So we say in economics that people make decisions marginally, and if the marginal benefit is greater than the marginal cost, right, people will make that decision. If the marginal cost, $50, is greater than the marginal benefit, an extra day with your friend, people will not make the decision. They'll take the Friday night flight. That's the idea. Okay, Matthew's on time now. Good. All right, we're giving Matthew like too much airtime here. We got to cut it out. It's like when my German Shepherd does something bad, and I give him attention, then he does it again. So no more attention to Matthew. Much love, Matthew. Much love. You guys good on picking up when I'm throwing down, right? A lot of people would pick this one because it's the cheapest. And then if you're like next level up, you're like, oh, well, like this one actually is the cheapest. But the next level up from there is like, all right, let's get it in terms of marginal value, marginal benefit versus marginal cost, right? Do I value $50 with my friend more or less? Then I'm going to make the decision, accordingly. Okay, moving on here. I got to delete these for next class. Okay. Time check. 11:41. Okay, we don't have much more. Okay. Very, very important vocabulary for you here. It says trade-offs versus opportunity costs. It says all decisions involve trade-offs. What is a trade-off? A trade-off is when you make a decision to do something, it is everything that you give up, right? So in choosing to again, watch the live stream today and be in class, you give up playing video games, hanging out with your friend, going outside, walking around, I don't know, watching Netflix, scrolling through your phone in your bed, I don't know, right? That's a trade-off. All the alternatives, all the other choices that you gave up when you make a particular choice, that's the trade-off, okay? So from that previous example, if you decided to take the Friday night flight, the trade-off was the Friday early flight and the Thursday night flight. Two of the choices were your trade-offs because it's all the choices that you give up. Opportunity cost is a little bit more specific. Trade-off would be like the rectangle. Opportunity cost would be like the square, right? A little bit more specific. Opportunity cost is the next best alternative that you give up. The next best choice that you give up. So, for us in the last example, if we chose the Friday night flight, the other one we would have done was the Thursday night flight. That was our opportunity cost. It's the next choice we would have done. If instead of tuning in the live stream today, you otherwise would have slept till like 1 o'clock. I don't know what you guys do, right? That's your opportunity cost. If instead of watching the stream today, you were playing video games, that's your opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the next choice you would have done, what you give up, and what's the cost of not doing that. And then trade-off is everything you give up. Everything you give up. Okay, don't get those confused. All right. It says econ of college. Good grades, social life, enough sleep. Obviously, you have time for two. You can either get good grades and sleep a lot, and graduate. This should work. Graduate with and have no friends, right? You have like one friend when you graduate. You can either have a social life and sleep a lot and take 6 years to graduate college. You can have a social life. You can have good grades and be a walking zombie, right? You really only have time for two, and you definitely get better at it over time. The freshman year, this is definitely a thing, right? Don't have time for games. Okay, Karen works part-time at a local convenience store and earns $10 per hour. She wants to spend next Saturday afternoon attending a music concert. The full price of a concert ticket is $75, but Karen was able to get a discounted price of $50 from a friend who purchased the ticket but was unable to attend. If Karen took 4 hours off from her job to attend the concert, what was her opportunity cost of attending the concert? So the price of the concert is $75, but she gets the price discounted from a friend, $50. So like this, we don't need this. Who cares what the face value is? If she goes to the concert, she has to spend $50. Plus, what does she give up? She gives up $40 from working. 4 hours at $10 an hour, right? She's going to give up $40 from working. So the cost of going to the concert is $90, right? That's the cost. She gives up $50 for the explicit cost, and the implicit cost is $40. So implicit plus explicit, the opportunity cost, the cost of actually going to the concert is $90. If she chooses not to go to the concert, she saves, right? Kind of using that term loosely. She would not spend $90 is the idea. Okay. That's right. All right. I want to read this to you, right? Because we've been really micro for a while. Let's get macro a little bit with it. It says guns versus butter. That's just like the old theory of what I'm about to tell you about, right? So this is a really good quote. I like talking about this quote a lot because it's exactly what we just talked about. Opportunity cost, right? It's not so much how much does it cost to do something. It's the money it costs to do something, but also what do you give up when you make that choice, right? So Dwight Eisenhower has this famous quote, and he talks about it. You can't really see it behind me, but it's Dwight Eisenhower. I forgot to move it around. And this was during the build-up during the Cold War, right? Soviet Union and the U.S. trying to outspend one another and build arms to be the world's biggest power, right? So he says this. He says, every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies, in the final sense, a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and are not clothed. This world in arms is not spending money alone. It is spending the sweat of its laborers, the genius of its scientists, and the hopes of its children, right? When you spend money on military arms, right, you allocate people to use those military arms or to develop those military arms, right? It's a scientist that is developing a way to make a bullet travel faster at a higher muzzle velocity, right? Instead of developing a cure for whatever, right? That's kind of what he's arguing. And then he puts it into per unit cost, essentially. He says the cost of one modern heavy bomber is this. So every time we make a modern heavy bomber, it really costs, the opportunity cost of doing that, the next best alternative that we probably would have used with that money is a modern brick school in more than 30 cities. It is 2 electric power plants, each serving a town of 60,000 population. It is 2 fine, fully equipped hospitals. It is some 50 miles of concrete pavement. We pay for a single fighter plane with 500,000 bushels of wheat. We pay for a single destroyer with new homes that could have housed more than 8,000 people. So again, it's seeing the unseen, right? Is it good to have a fighter plane? Oh, absolutely, right? Absolutely, right? And people will be like, Mr. Moore's unpatriotic. I serve, right? But he says, I want fighter planes and I value national defense, but every time we spend money on an additional plane, that money could have went elsewhere, is the idea. So don't always look at everything in terms of dollars and cents. It's all about opportunity cost, is what he was trying to say. So here's the modern day debate, right? The F-35 jet and how much would it cost to have free tuition or healthcare or et cetera, right? Is the idea. Okay, time check. This is a decision time for Mr. Moore here. All right, so we're gonna do this, people. We're gonna do this. This is what we're gonna do. This is like, because you guys watch football. This is like when I go up to the line, I'm checking the defense. They're giving me cover 2, so I'm gonna audible and run like a post with number 3, right? I'm gonna check out of it. I'm checking out of it. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go chill out and hang out in Google Meet for 11 minutes. And I said you can take a break, but we're only chilling for 11 minutes. Just hop in there if you could. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post problem set 1.1. However, you can only do the first half of problem set 1.1. All right. I don't want you getting frustrated with the other half and you haven't really learned about it yet. We're going to learn about that tomorrow, and then you will finish problem set 1.1 tomorrow. Okay? So I'm going to see you guys in Google Meet. Make sure you hop on in there. Okay? Okay, yeah, hop into Google Meet, and then I'm going to post problem set 1.1 here in a second as you guys go in there, and then we're going to do the first half of problem set 1.1 and save the other half for tomorrow. If you're really feeling it, right, you can do the other half, right? If you think you're super smart and you got it, but you don't have to. Problem set 1.1 is not going to be due until Thursday midnight. Okay, all right, I'll see you guys in Google Meet here in 1 second.